Doc Bruce Banner, belted by Gamma Rays, turned into the Hulk.
Ain't he on Glamour Rays?
Wrecking the town with the power of a bull.
Ain't no monster clown who is that lovable
As ever-loving Hulk.
Hey guys, it's Chris, Vancouver Comic Junkie. I am here for another video. Let's do this! First things first, something weird happened. I do like comic supplies. I'm a fan. I guess we all should be. We should take care of our books. It's important. But one thing I found recently, and I heard about this, was fullbacks. I've never heard of these before. I don't know why. I mean, I'd heard of them, but I'd just never seen one before. And I bought a pack. And I gotta tell you, man, these things are awesome. They feel like they're taking care of the book. But they're really thick. It's like having two cards in the back. I really like it. They really make the when you put a book into it, it just makes it seem really firm and really protected. I'm quite happy with them. So I couldn't recommend fullbacks enough. Fullbacks, they seem good. That's my commercial for them. I don't win by saying that at all, but I hope you guys win by getting them. I think you really like them a lot. They're not cheap though. They are a little pricier, but I feel like it's worth it. You know, for the amount of money we spend on comics, we should protect them. I don't know what you guys use for protection. I'd love to hear about it. I generally, for a while there, I was putting everything in archive milers, open top, just because I don't like tape. I don't like mylates because if you have to take the book in and out, which on occasion I do, or if you send it into pressing or all these things, you end up having more opportunity to damage a book. And I have had a few times when I've had tape around a book, and it hasn't been fun. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see I destroyed Fantastic Four 66, the cameo of Warlock. I literally ripped a cover in half. It just came right off. It was like a piece like this big. And it was a very upsetting moment. That was a few years ago, and I never want that to happen again. So I would use those all the time, the milers with archive openings. But now I just use just normal bags, but with fullbacks. And the reason is because most of the books I do buy raw will inevitably go to pressing and inevitably go on to CGC. And why would I spend a fortune on these things to just get thrown away? Because CGC tosses everything, just so you know. And also, if your presser sends them back to you or has to give them back, it becomes a big hassle. So, and it's just cheaper. So I just do that. But anyway, oddly enough, that's the first book I'm going to talk about. So we're going to talk some books I've been picking up recently. This is just stuff I've been grabbing recently. Obviously, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man #9. I just grab these on occasion when I see them cheap. And, you know, this is one of those books, First White Tiger, a character that has a lot of potential. I think, down the road, I think this is a character that could show up anytime in the MCU. Regardless, it's a cool book. It's a cheap book. It's a book you can still find in the cheap bins. They're starting to tick up, you know. I found 3 or 4 nice copies in the, I'd say, $8 range. And I recently picked one up, I think, for $9 on eBay through Canadian eBay, so I got cheap shipping, which is good because I'll tell you, Americans are charging a fortune for shipping to Canada now. I've seen books where guys wanted $150 to ship to Canada, which is just ridiculous. It shouldn't cost more than $25 at the most, especially for just an individual book. A CGC book, I can see it, but my God, we're getting destroyed. But anyway, that's that book. Let's move on to the next book. This is an interesting book. I just don't see these around, but once I open my eyes, I see them. It's Marvel Premiere 54, first appearance of Caleb Hammer. I like these Western books. I always have. There's a bunch of them like Red Wolf and Rawhide Kid, things like that. I dig this stuff, but like, I don't know, it's just a cool thing. I picked these up for $1.50 each, and they're just beautiful mint copies of 70s books. When I was a kid, and I first went into my first comic store, for some reason, the first bin I looked in was the Marvel bin, like the M's. And it was, it had Marvel Premiere, Spotlight, Team Up, all that. But I saw Spotlight and Premiere. And keep in mind, this was like 1982, 83. I was a little kid, and I couldn't believe all the characters I'd never met before. 3D Man, guys like Caleb Hammer, Moonstalker. There was just so many, and I'd never heard of any of these, so I started buying them. I think they were 50 cents each back then, and I had a full run of Marvel Premiere and Spotlight. Even the first Ghost Rider was cheap. I mean, it wasn't. This was before Ghost Rider became a thing, really, and but I had them all as a kid, and I read the hell out of them, and I just thought it was so cool. All these neat little introductions. I was really obsessed with that stuff, and I'm actually secretly putting together runs of both of those right now. I'd love to have 9/8 runs of them, but I don't know if that's a realistic thing with the price of, Ghost Rider's first appearance, and various others. There's too many expensive first appearances to make that realistic for me. But maybe a 9/4 run. We'll see. But having fun doing it. I love actually reading those. That's the thing for me. What else I picked up? I picked up a couple Novas, 2 and 6. These are two minor keys. First appearance of Condor, and I think the other one's the first appearance of Diamond Head. These are not expensive books. Nova's going to be a movie. That's happening at some point. I'm sure of it. When you can pick up these minor keys for less than $10 each, I just grab them on occasion if they're in good shape. I don't see them in good shape very often. It's pretty rare, actually. But, when I do, I snag them. It's just like one of those opportunistic moments. I also like reading them. I do flip through them, and I enjoy this era. Nova was a bad book, though. It wasn't particularly good. I do like the characters, but I just the stories never really sang to me. But I like the modern stuff. But anyway, another one, Alpha Flights. Boy, Alpha Flights are getting popular. This is issue 19. It's the first one. It's a character named Talisman. She's Shaman's daughter. This is not an expensive book. I mean, these are all you're going to find them cheap. You're going to find them in dollar bins. If you're paying more than $5 for this, you probably should shake your head. But I think it's an opportunity for you to find a minor key for a cheap price, and potentially with the rumors of Alpha Flight hitting the MCU. And being in the movies, there's, I think, a bit of an opportunity here. And as we know, these characters can shift into other things. So I think that's exciting. I just got a phone call from Zimbabwe on my phone. I'm sure that's not anything but a scam, I'm thinking. What would you think? Zimbabwe. Another book. I got another Jungle Action 1. I don't know. I just found it. It was like, it was cheap. I can't get enough of that era of book. If you look at that window box, early 70s Marvel, I just adore them. And at the end of this video, you're going to see, in my opinion, one of the greatest window box Marvels that I picked up. I'm really excited to show you. So stay tuned. But anyway, Jungle Action #1, not a key or anything like that, other than it being a #1. It was an opportunistic find. I just dig these kind of books. It's just my thing. So anyway, Jungle Action #1. Here's another book that I think a lot of people are missing out on. I have a 9/6 of this, and it took me a lot of time to find it, and I have a very difficult time finding books. This book in anything over a 9/0. Very, very, for some reason you can find the ones before and after it in great shape, but this book is difficult. And I, over the years, picked up a number of them. It's Fantastic Four 164. Even these ones are like 9/0s. I just can't. I only pick them up if they're reasonably priced or cheap, or I find them in wherever. But I'm very cheap. But Frankie Ray. This is the introduction of Frankie Ray. And Frankie Ray, there's with Fantastic Four hitting the MCU, Frankie Ray has a lot of opportunity as a character. She also becomes the Herald of Galactus in issue 244, which I have a 9/8 of as well. I've been grabbing Frankie Ray keys for quite some time, but again, I don't see them much because it seems like everyone's grabbing them. Especially this one. I just don't see these very often. I probably have 10 of these, and I got a 9/6 out of one of them. I think I might be able to pull a 9/4 out of another, but generally most of them are pretty like 8/0 to 9/0. Like, I'm just not finding them. The only reason I'm buying them in that grade is simply because they are $5, And if it becomes a big key, I think I'll do okay off them, selling them at a con or something, and I can turn that money into a key like I usually do. But anyway, I would recommend 164 Fantastic Four. It's a great book. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Century is a big book for me. I've shown that I have 2 copies of the Jay Lee original copy, the black cover. It's one of my favorite modern books. Love that book. I've been buying it for a while, like whenever I saw it, but I never really owned any of the alternative covers, the variants. So I have the San Diego copy. I have a 9.6 in that. I wish it was 9.8, but it isn't. But I'm happy with that. And now I added this to my collection. It's another Jay Lee variant. It's just another variant, but this one's really tough to get. I don't know the numbers on it, but it ain't easy. But I finally got one. It's in wonderful shape. I'm very, very happy with it. I think I have a very strong chance of hitting, a 9.6 on this thing. It does need a little clean though. It's got a little bit of something going on up here. But price-wise, I paid the right price. These are, even in raw, are going for big money. Who knew? I mean, Century is becoming like a big deal in the collector circles. I just saw an issue 1, the normal one, go for almost $600 to a dealer, which blew my mind. I'm seeing multiple dealers asking $800-900 for it. Are they selling them? I don't know, but they are selling in the $500 range. I know this is selling in the $550 to $600 range, which is ridiculous. I'm done buying these. I can't afford those numbers. I mean, I can afford them, but I don't want to. I don't know how much more legs this book has. But saying that, I'm very happy to add that to my collection. I can't wait to get it graded and put it into my permanent personal collection. Another book I picked up. It's Iron Man 54, First Moon Dragon. I think we all know this is Drax's daughter. I think there's a lot of potential with this character. Right now, this book heated up after people spec that she would be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy, but since Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of far off still for various reasons, this book's kind of slowed down in its heat, unless it's graded. It goes for okay money. But raw books, if you go hunting, people do want too much for it, but if you find an auction or something like that, you'll pick this up for well below what it's been going for. I think it's a great opportunistic buy. I am looking forward. I have 2 of these, and I think this one is about a 9.0, and I think my other one's a 9 or 8.5. So whichever comes in higher will be in my personal collection. The other one will, be for trade for something else in the future. But I look forward to getting this back from CGC. I like this book. I think it's a cool book. I recommend it. Moondragon. There's a lot of potential there for some spec. Another book, talking about spec, everyone saw the WandaVision trailer. And I think if you've been watching my videos, you've been noticing that I have picked up a number of these. Fantastic 494, First Agatha Harkness. I have a couple 8.0s, CGC 8.0s, which I got for like nothing, like under $50 a long time ago. Nobody gave a crap about that book. But I've been picking up the odd VF copy raw, just here and there, only if it's a good deal. And this one was really a good deal. But unfortunately, this copy is gorgeous. It really is a gorgeous copy. But somebody had used some kind of marker on it and wrote a number in here in this moon here. And then they tried to erase it, and now there's like a smeared thing. So I don't know. I honestly don't know how this will grade. Probably a 5.0 or so. But it's, it is what it is. I'm not super stoked about that. But I have others, and so that's okay. I didn't pay much for it. Another book that I think Lords of the Long Box have been touting this one like crazy. But I was able to snag one out of the blue. It's not something I've been looking for, but I do enjoy the horror books. It's Giant Size Chillers, #1. This is the first Lilith. And she potentially could be a big deal within the Blade universe, they're saying. And what's going on out there? There must be a murder. Anyway, this book is a reasonably priced book. It's a black cover, so it does show a lot of wear. And it's also a giant size, which can have issues if you're pressing and things like that. So they are harder to get in higher grade. The best part is, it's just a fucking cool book. It's just, look at this giant size horror book. Come on, from the 70s. This is why you collect comics. I just have the one. I'm probably gonna get it graded. I suspect it'll come back around 7580. Is that ideal? No, but it'll look good in my personal collection. I'll love it. I'll love it dearly. So I recommend this book. It's a really neat book. I think it has some legs. My second last book is a book you've seen me pull up a few times, and I've just been grabbing the odd one here and there, and it's Fantastic Four Annual 6. Annihilus is the reason people buy this book, but the real reason you should be buying this book is Franklin Reed's introduction as a baby. Franklin Reed is Reed Richards' son, and there is, I think, a lot of potential, and there's been rumors that he possibly could be in the MCU when they introduce the Fantastic Four. So now this book isn't just a first appearance of a major villain who very easily could be in one of the movies. He now is a first appearance also of possibly one of the Fantastic Four, or a close association to it. This book, in my mind, is one of the better Silver Age specs you can go after. They're still reasonable. This, I think, is about a 5560 copy. You can get these for under $300. Even nice 3.5s, 4.0s. I've seen some really nice presenting copies are well under $200. These are reasonably priced Silver Age keys. They won't be forever, and I think you should grab onto them now. And a lot of people have been getting these graded left, right, and center simply for the Annihilus spec. So there's a lot out there. It's not a hard to find book by any means. So try and pick this up. I really recommend it. I really do. Now, here's the reason why we're here, guys. This is a book I'm bringing up here that I have spent. I've always wanted this book. I have owned a copy when I was young, but it is now, I was young, so I read it and beat the shit out of it, and it's now collectible. Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Not in our world, So about a month ago, I was just, I'm really into my personal collection. I'm really trying to tick off some of those books that I want, and I have plenty coming. You'll see in the next 6 months. And I've been trying to get a little bit away from specking a bit, and actually use those books that I've been specking on to get the books I want. I'm actually starting to turn that around. And I went after a first appearance of Luke Cage. I adore this cover. I think this is one of my all-time favorite window box covers. Oh, my daughter's acting like a monkey. Hey, you're on video, Zoe. But look at that cover. It's just gorgeous. That's the Bronze Age in a nutshell for me. That's everything I love about early 70s Marvels. You can't beat this book. So I went looking around I think this has been a few months now, and I was noticing that raw copies were, if you went looking or you did auctions and things like that, you could get them for an okay deal. And I was trying best offers and things like that, and I was able to pick up 2 really nice copies. These are like 8.0s, maybe 9 copies for a really decent price. I was very, very happy with the price. And I also picked up a CGC 7.5 just to make sure I had a graded one. And the funny thing is I kind of went, the reason why I have 3 copies is I only wanted one for my collection. I wasn't really specking on it. And what happened was I went and best offered a bunch, and I won all 3 of them in the same night. And I was a little surprised by that. And yeah, that's how you end up with 3 books. My credit card didn't love it, but at the same time, I'm very happy to have all 3. I'm going to keep them for the time being. I'm going to get these 2 graded. I think they're going to come in the same ballpark as this, a little higher. And I'm going to keep the best one, and then the other 2 will probably go at some point. What's interesting, though, is I was buying it for my personal collection, but then I started really looking into it, and it does potentially have quite a bit of spec ahead of it. Luke Cage has his own series, so the prices did rise quite a bit then. But now with potential MCU partnerships, that kind of thing. He could very easily slip into one of the Disney Plus shows. I think I'm going to hold him for a bit. I think I am. And I'm noticing the pricing has been going up quite a bit recently. I don't know if some secret cabal of collectors have been buying them up like nuts, but yeah, the last month it's crazy. Like, there was a 7.5 that went for ridiculous money recently, or a 7.0. People are going after this book all of a sudden. Maybe they're running out of other things. So, but saying that, I'm very, very happy to own 3 nice copies of this book. I have always wanted to own it, and now I have 3. So, let the good times roll. That's why I love collecting. I love it, because you never know what the next month's going to bring you. So anyway, that's my video. Those are my books for the time being. I have plenty more coming, and I look forward to your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys are buying and selling and all that. But hit me up at Instagram, Vancouver Comic Junkie. Like and subscribe. That helps like crazy. And yeah, just let's just keep doing this and see what happens. Okay, you have a great day, and I will talk to you.